Frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Mrs. Cheryl Warner. She's the superintendent of Warrensburg-Latham Schools. Good to see you, Mrs. Warner. How are you today?
Good morning, Seth. We're doing great. We're 7 weeks from the end of the school year, which is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, I can't believe it. it. It's flown by. It really has. You got a couple of students there with you today. Tell us about these girls you've got with you.
Yes, so I've got Olivia Wendell and Ava Smith. They are both high school students that are enrolled in our Central Illinois CEO program. That program is a collaborative program between 4 different districts: Warrensburg-Latham, Rural Forsyth, Blue Ridge, and also Clinton. And it's a pretty select program. We typically only have approximately 15 students in this program. It's a very non-traditional type of setting where these students every day are off campus, working with either their facilitator, who is Melanie Brown, hired by the board of CEO, and or doing business visits locally through the 4 communities. They start their program by creating a group entrepreneurial business and raising funds for charity. And then they eventually tailor off and they create their own individual business, which is what they're about to launch pretty soon here. They've got a Shark Tank event coming up this week, which I got to tell you is one of my all-time favorite events to go watch, because they have to plug their business like the true show of Shark Tank. So, you know, it's kind of in the hot seat, right? And they do a fabulous job. And then they'll launch their individual businesses at the trade show, which is actually May 1st. So I wanted to invite them here with me today to have a chance to talk about the program and, most importantly, talk about the business that they're about to launch.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, ladies, I'm sure it's nice to get out of class even a little bit longer today to do this. We appreciate you making time with us. So Ava, let's start with you. I want you to tell me about why you joined CEO, and what your expectation was of the program. What did you think you were getting into?
So I joined CEO just because I've seen so many students in the past go through the program and they've grown as a person. Like, it was very huge to see how much their personality changed and how much confidence they grew. And really, it's just been huge confidence builder for me. So
yeah. Olivia, how about you? Why did you join the program, and what has it been like for you? Has it met your expectations? Is it what you thought it'd be?
Yeah, I joined CEO to build confidence and learn how to public speak and just up my speaking game, because I talk very fast and I just wanted to grow confidence and just figure out what I wanted to do later in life through CEO. And it is everything I thought it would be. I didn't expect the long drives. I knew we had to drive. I just didn't expect every morning, getting there right on time, going in with everything.
Yeah. It's quite the commitment. It really is. Sometimes those things take you by surprise, for sure. Olivia, staying with you, what has been the biggest takeaway out of this program? Is it a skill you've come across that you've developed? Is it an interest that you've found you have? What has been the biggest impact this program has made on you?
Definitely the confidence and the speaking.
Yeah. Was there a pivotal, whether it was a speaker, a visit, whether a seminar, what was a pivotal moment in that development for you? What stands out in what you've learned there?
George Streckfist at the Brass Horn really taught us how to be confident and how to grow your business. I don't really know, but grow your business and explain he explained how to run your business and how to be confident through everything you do.
He was at the Brass Horn, you said?
Yes, in downtown Decatur.
Yeah, that seems to be a really popular visit from your friends there that came in yesterday with us on the morning show. Ava, how about you? What has been a part of this program that stood out the most to you? Where have you grown the most, you think?
I have noticed a huge change in my mindset before taking CEO. I don't know. I wasn't a very committed student. I have okay grades, but they're not the best. But I've noticed a huge change in my mindset. I've really grown it, and I have a very high work ethic, I'd say. And I don't know, it's just really changed my mindset for the better.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Absolutely. Well, ladies, what has been your favorite site visit? Ava, we'll start with you. What's been your favorite site visit? And tell us about these site visits. Like, for folks out there that may not know, what do you mean by a site visit? Tell us what they are. What's your favorite?
So site visits are when we meet at a location, whether it's a small business, a large business, and we go and meet the owners and the CEOs and we learn about their business. We meet from 7:15 to 9 a.m. And during that time, they teach us about how they run their business. They give us tours. And I'd say my favorite site visit was either George Checkfist at the Brass Horn, or we just recently went to Champaign and saw their business name was Hourglass. And they make the helmets and glasses for the U.S. Army, and it was really cool to see how they can make those. Their glasses are based just off of the clenching of their jaw, so they don't have to use any hands or voice activation, and it was really cool to see how they invented that.
That's awesome. Olivia, how about you? What's been your favorite site visit?
My favorite site visit so far has been Plume in Mount Zion with Angie Lay. She makes soaps, body sprays, lip oils, all sorts of things.
Nice. What did you like about that?
I liked how she created it all. Like, she does it all not from scratch, but she creates it all herself, and she has a little business in Mount Zion, and it's cool how she markets it in this little town. Yeah.
As you're making all these site visits and you're learning these skills and all of those things along the way, you have to come up with a group business. That's your really kind of first semester goal. Ladies, tell me about the group business. Olivia, what did you do? And tell me about the process of how you got to where you ended up.
Okay, so our group business was called Melodies and Masterpieces, and it was a formal dinner hosted at the Decatur Club. And we had different roles. I started out on the marketing committee by making posts just for social media, and then that wasn't for me. So I switched to the sponsorship committee, which we went out to businesses and got baskets and just donations to help support our business.
Very good.
Not our business, but support the event.
Yeah, sure. Tell me a little bit, Ava, about that process of getting, putting your business together. What did you have to do? What were some lessons along the way? What was that process like?
It was very rough at first, I will say, but we really grew as a team and we learned how to work with each other because we obviously all have different mindsets and kind of, I don't know, what's the word? We all meshed together differently. So it was really cool to see how our committees work together. So I was a CMO, so I was the one in charge of all of the marketing, and it was really just huge to see how close we all got in the end. And I don't know, I think it was a very successful event.
Yeah, sure. Very good. Now, when it came to the lessons you took out of that, Olivia, staying with you here, what did you take away from the putting together your group business that you're carrying into now your individual business? And Mrs. Warner mentioned Shark Tank coming up here, that process. Let's dive into some of those things. What have you taken away out of that group business process that you're carrying into your individual business?
Definitely asking for help, because usually I'm a person that likes to do things myself. And through group business, we had to learn how to ask each other for things when we couldn't get it done and have accountability. And with my individual business, my dad's been helping me. He's basically my business partner. And it's just asking for help and knowing when to ask for help, and that it's not embarrassing to ask for help when you need it.
Mm-hmm. Well, ladies, tell us what your individual businesses are. Will Ava start with you on this one?
My business is called Forever Linked by Ava Marie, and it is a permanent jewelry business.
So how did you land on doing that?
Jewelry has always been a way that I express myself. I wear a lot of jewelry, and I've just seen how successful the business is, and the industry is very huge. Permanent jewelry is kind of a trend right now, so the market's pretty big.
Very good. Olivia, what are you doing?
My business is 217 Laser Co., and it's a laser engraving business, customizable.
Yeah. What kind of laser engraving are you going to do?
Just on wood coasters, slate coasters. You can really engrave on anything, like glass, bracelets, necklaces. but I'm really focusing on coasters.
Coasters. Okay, so question. I've wanted this for a long time. I want like a big Clinton C. You could even do a Warrensburg-Latham logo if you wanted to. Is there something you could do, like a big Clinton C, Warrensburg-Latham Cardinal? Could you do that for us by chance?
Like cut it out of wood or just like engrave on a piece of wood?
Either. What would be
I can
easiest?
do both.
Yeah?
really.
Yeah. Hey, maybe you found some business on the show
Got a
today.
customer.
Yeah, there you go. Very good. Well, maybe we'll talk about that when we're done here this morning. But no, that sounds awesome. Shark Tank is Mrs. Warner mentioned Shark Tank. What is this all about? Ava, we'll start with you.
So for Shark Tank, we get the chance to have 10 minutes with the sharks to pitch our business to them, and they can ask us questions, and then they pick one winner at the end to win a $250 grant for their business to keep it rolling. And it's just WAND is going to be there tomorrow, so it's a pretty huge deal.
Nice. Looking forward to it. Tell me about your pitch. What is your pitch to the? Is it the Sharks? Is that what they're called?
Yes. We have, I believe, 5 sharks, 4 or 5 sharks, and they are all people that we have interacted with throughout the year. They all come together, and we have visitors come and watch also, and we pitch our business to them, and they have the opportunity to ask us questions and really dig into the details of our business.
Awesome. Olivia, how about you? What is your pitch to the Sharks?
I have a slideshow, so we have to have a visual. So where it says like what we do, like our expenses, our 3-month projections. And then I'm also, for each of the like judges, sharks, I'm making a coaster for each of them with their first name and last name on it and just some sort of design so they can really see what it looks like.
That's awesome. Very good. Let's see. I know you're doing trade show. Who wants to tell me about trade show in a few weeks?
I can do it. Okay, so our trade show is May 1st from 5 to 7 at the Hickory Point Mall, and all of the CEO students will have a booth where we can either, if you can make your product, you already have it in stock, you can sell it there, but if it's something you have to create, like Ava, can you do that?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, she'll be able to weld there, but with mine, I have to vent my engraver outside, so I can't do it there, but I will be taking orders there.
Awesome. That's awesome. We'll have to stop by and put an order in for the studio. That's great. Very good, ladies. Mrs. Warner, what did I miss with these kids you wanted to have them talk about?
I think they talked about a lot, but one of the things I'd love to point out, I mean, this is an entrepreneurship program. So typically students that are interested in owning their own business or learning more about being a business owner are attracted to this program. But you heard both Olivia and Ava talk about some of the other big benefits of being a student in this program, which is the development of a lot of soft skills. You heard them mention public speaking, building confidence, promoting themselves. These are all phenomenal traits that this program develops in students. And it's just amazing to see from the beginning to the end of the program how much they have developed in those skills. So as much as it's exciting to see their business, both group and individual, grow, I tend to be more excited about the personal growth that they see in those skills, which make them so much more successful and marketable as they move on to whatever their post-secondary goals are.
Yeah, awesome. Good stuff. Ladies, did I miss anything with you that you wanted to talk about today or that we didn't mention?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, if you don't mind, do you have like social medias for whether it's your own business or the class itself? How do folks follow along with each of you?
Well, for Facebook, we have a Central Illinois CEO Facebook. And if you just search that, it'll come up. You'll find it. There's multiple different CEO programs, but it's the Central Illinois one.
Yeah, sure. Olivia, how do folks follow along with your business? Are you online? Are you on social media? How do they follow that?
I have Facebook, and it's 217 Laser Coat. And if you would like to purchase an order or just create an order, you can send me a direct message on there, or my email is on there, and you can email that too. Awesome.
Good deal. And Ava, how about you? How are folks following along what you're doing with your business?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Forever Linked by Ava Marie.
Fantastic. Ladies, best of luck with Shark Tank, with trade show. And do either of you want to do this once you get out of high school and the program is passed? Are either of you going to carry this on to what you're doing in college and beyond?
Yeah, so I'm going to cosmetology school because my dream is to own a salon and boutique, and I really want to take my permanent jewelry business into that as well. So I do plan to continue the permanent jewelry business all the way through cosmetology school.
For sure. Olivia, you yourself?
I'm not sure if I'm going to continue it because my plan is to graduate early and then attend Richland in the spring and then go to Lakeland in the fall.
Wow, look at you,
So I'm
man.
not sure.
Yeah, well, hey, best of luck, ladies. Thanks for doing this. Mrs. Warner, thanks for thinking of these girls to come on and talk about this with us today. That was excellent stuff.
Well, hey, if we walk away with at least one sale, I think that's great. For
Yeah,
them. You know, if
absolutely,
they
yeah.
start their individual business, we want them to be as successful as possible.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, awesome. Hey,
I
ladies.
jotted down some ideas too. I need a housewarming gift, so I think a set of coasters would work perfectly.
Perfect.
And I want
Nice.
jewelry from myself. So.
Awesome. Good job, girls. Mrs. Warner, thanks for that. That's Ava Smith and Olivia Wendell at Warrensburg-Latham High School, part of the Central Illinois CEO program. Our guests on the Zoom today. We'll talk more with Mrs. Warner coming up on the morning show.
WHOW.
No, I know it felt that way, but it didn't come across that way.
Let's check markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim
All right,
Taylor.
ladies,
Corn
thank you.
mix,
Have a great
beans
day.
lower, wheat trading lower. May corn down 2 3/4, 482 1/4. July corn down 2 1/2, 490 1/4. New
All
crop
right, you
December
too.
462
Bye-bye. See
1/2,
ya.
up 2 1/2. May beans down 8 1/2, 1033 1/4. July beans down 8, 1042 1/4. New crop November 1024 1/2, down 4. May Chicago wheat 541 1/2, down 6. July wheat down 6, 555 3/4. May bean meal 292.50, down 460. May bean oil up a dime, 46.42. Livestock market. April feeders 288.80, up 75 cents. April live cattle up 72 cents, 204.67. May lean hogs 88.27, up 32 cents. Energy market. May crude oil up a quarter, 61.78. And I'm Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
This is Brad from Gibson Ace Hardware in Clinton, Illinois. Stop in to see us, the helpful place at 114 North Madison Street, Clinton.
If the flu's got you down, the Warner Hospital and Health Services walk-in clinic inside Family Medicine can help you feel better fast. CEO Paul Skowron inviting you to make us your backup plan to better health. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today, Mrs. Cheryl Warner, superintendent of Warrensburg-Latham Schools, and Mrs. Warner, just a couple of impressive young ladies in your school system in that Central Illinois CEO program. Like I said, we had them on yesterday. Melanie, the facilitator, comes on every other month or so, and gosh, just fantastic what they're doing there.
Yeah, they grow so much from the beginning to the end. It's really neat to see. I sit on that board, so I get to have a lot more exposure to them than some others. So I really get to see the growth, which is always impressive. With this group in particular, their group business was super successful, the most successful that we've experienced as a board since the program began. So they're kind of riding a high right now and hoping to continue to be as successful with their individual businesses in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, and from what Melanie told me, it was a very big adventure that they took on. That just kind of really stepped out there and took on a big project. But kudos to them for making it happen and pulling it off. And that's just exciting stuff what they're doing. Let's talk, Mrs. Warner. You know, sometimes the conversations aren't always roses and happy sunshiny days. One thing that's sounds like been getting a lot of attention in your schools and the community is federal funding and how it's going to impact not only the district but the district students. What's going on? Give me the background on this.
Right. So, I mean, if you're paying attention to what's occurring nationally, and again, like I said, I'm not talking politics, just what you read in the news. We've got a lot of people very concerned about what happens if federal funding is cut and or if it's transitioned to the state level, right? And I think it's kind of a big unknown. When we started to hear these kinds of things, I don't think there was a lot of concern because we really didn't think that that would occur. But now we are starting to see some departments closing at the federal level. We are starting to see some cuts occurring. There was a large news story about how universities are impacted this morning. My daughter, who actually attends U of I and is about to enter grad school in the fall, actually lost her graduate assistantship because U of I is cutting some graduate assistantships as a preventative technique because they're concerned about their own funding, right? And this all dribbles down. So the concern is, how will it truly impact the public schools? And we are very fortunate that our state superintendent, Tony Sanders, has been a steward for this and has been a voice of logic along the way. And, public school districts have been told to not be too concerned at this point, but it's something that we are all thinking about. It's hard to think when we talk about the federal funds that public schools get. Our federal funds are tied to our students that are the most at-risk students that we serve, the students that need the most support, our students with IEPs and 504 plans, our students that fall under free and reduced, because it's all special education and title funds. So it's really hard to wrap your head around what would happen if those funds were cut, because we certainly can't cut back on services for those students. No matter what the end result is, districts will have to determine a way to move forward with those services with or without the funding. It's just not ethical for us to not do that. So
Right.
It's concerning. And I know we've got some parents that are stressed. We've gotten a couple of phone calls at the district office and in the buildings of parents that have some students that they know are supported by these funds. And, they're seeing what's occurring in the news, and they're curious and concerned about what will happen. What will services look like if by chance funds were to be cut and or if funds were transferred to the state level, right? Again, a big unknown, but it's certainly something we need to be very proactive in communicating with our legislators about. It's legislation season. And so if you're working for a school district, you're an administrator or a school board member, or you're getting all sorts of call to action right now, multiple a day sometimes, to either support or give your concerns about particular legislation that's on the table, which there's always a lot of. So.
Yep, no question. Always something. Your head's always on a swivel, it feels like, in education. Yeah, for sure. Well, Mrs. Warner, I wish we could talk further about some of these things. Maybe we'll save those for a May or June interview with you. In the meantime, where do folks go to learn about all things Warrensburg-Latham schools? And we're coming up on the end of the school year. Where do they find information on all that?
Lots of end of year activities right now. So go to the WL website, or you can download the Warrensburg-Latham app through the Google store.
Very good. Mrs. Warner, always good to see you. Thanks for making time for us. Mrs. Cheryl Warner is the superintendent of Warrensburg-Latham Schools, our guest on the Zoom. Network News is now.